What kind of role-playing game is Mage the Awakening?
A terrifying one. That's what I think so far. Jojo agrees.
Oh,
Mage as an RPG is definitely more. It's not restricted to the say video game format where you are very limited on what the creators of that world set in place for you to do.
So Mage is very much the world is full of mysteries type of game.
Mage the Awakening is an RPG that is scary, mysterious, filled with magic, and kind of a mix of like Cthulhu, Eerie, and House of Leaves, apparently. It's scary.
You're not necessarily running into a dungeon trying to collect treasure or destroy all the bad guys, because it's very unclear who are the bad guys. You could be a bad guy and not really know, because everything in the world is a little bit murky.
Or Mage is it's your imagination, so you are basically only limited to what you can think of. Granted, there are rules that based on what you've come up with, but yeah, basically that's pretty much the only limitation.
what is an RPG?
RPG is standard, stands for role-playing game.
So an RPG is a role-playing game where you are using your imagination in a limited way. It's shaped by chance through the dice, but also these set statistics.
I guess to me, a role-playing game is a game that lets a number of people sort of join one collective fantasy and take turns being characters in that, usually within some structure or rules that allow us all to play at the same time. The thing that toddlers are missing a lot of the time, hence the
Role-playing game is a game that uses the imagination. It uses teamwork, communication, math skills, problem solving, and it's all in your head unless you want to play it with miniatures and a board to kind of get like the spatial awareness, or if you're a visual person.
Basically, you sort of jump in and try to immerse yourself into the character and try to act out as you think the character would based on his personality, and you pretend you are in that setting.
And you basically go on adventures and create your own character and what they're like, and do whatever you want with appropriate consequences.
Yeah, you're collectively telling a story and creating this world and solving problems together in a both very unlimited but also highly structured way.
Who is your character and how did they get to where they are?
Well, my character now is named Ethel Stubbs, but if you won't tell anyone, started her name as her life as Ermengarde Ward, and she was one of the wealthy daughters of prestigious family outside of Boston, and at a family traditional party where she was sort of going to, make her entrance into the family by going through this garden maze. It's a long tradition with old guns. It's one of those things. It didn't go quite the way she planned, and she ended up getting injured in the maze, seemingly fatally so, because Ermengarde died, or so she thinks she died. And then in death, managed to make her way back. And when she arrived back in this world, accompanied by her new companion, a skull named Byron, who talks to her, and a collection of her mother's ashes, she came across Mona and Parallax, and having no idea what just happened or what's going on, or if what happened even was real, sort of just joined and followed along with these two folks who seemingly have a much better sense about what's going on, and really has only been awakened for not even a week yet, but has had many more experiences than her whole other 18 years of life put together have given her. That's for sure and certain.
So I am playing Hannah, or the mage who currently goes by Hannah. Hannah was originally a college student named Cora, who awakened as a Tircis and became a pretty powerful life mage, a life magic mage, going on adventures with her friends, and was at one point kidnapped and tortured, such that her grasp on magic became a little tenuous. It got stronger in some places, and she went through some pretty horrific identity crises. And she went from Cora to Dorothy, her original mage name, and lost that identity completely. And now they are Hannah. They have lost their connection to themselves as a femme mage, and they are this new mage with stronger life magic, but also stronger spirit, stronger connection to fate and mind, and their desire for a cabal is kind of at odds with their trust of structures and institutions like the mental health facility in which they were tortured.
So my character is Mona. Of course, that's not her real name, but I'm not telling you. And Mona is a Obermos mage in the Order of the Mysterium, the Savant, under the tutelage of Chain Parish. And how she came to where she is now, I guess she awakened in, I think it was right before college. She was working on a car and in her parents' garage, and it kind of blew up / I awakened and everything was destroyed, but then I had magic. And I joined a cabal with Hannah's previous previous self, I guess, before they became Hannah, and Parallax, of course, and some other people, but we broke it off. So, and then now I'm here with my new cabal. It's like kind of the same with some differences.
So in this series, my character is Parallax. He's actually from an old campaign from years back that we sort of brought back to this campaign and sort of tried to incorporate him into the new rules of the new edition. So he's actually from the first edition Mage book, so we've been trying to learn the second edition with him. He's had quite a roller coaster of things happen to him. He's been was a sort of a successful prodigy of time magic, had a mentor, killed the mentor, got ousted from the mage community, got brought in back to the mage community, still has sort of he still certainly butts heads with other major balls and leaders of that sort of group. And and that's pretty much it.
What is your favorite memory of a role-playing game that you have played in?
One of my favorite campaigns was a Lovecraft in space with space pirates, where I was a the best space pilot in the entire galaxy and also a raging alcoholic. And I got better as a pilot the more I drank. And so I had the creative license to leave my friends in like a frozen cryogenic freezer while I took a detour to go collect some more liquor before I found the things to rescue them. And it was just fun to play this character who had some funky morals and values and also highly effective.
So one of the things I always used to do, or still sort of do, is I would make these absurd risk plays in hopes for big rewards. Some very rarely would pay off. Like maybe one that I think of the 20 times I did a crazy thing that would risk a character's life. I think it happened one time that it actually did work. But this was actually another mage game where I played basically a mind mage, and I tried summoning a demon in the basement of a fraternity house, and it was like, it felt like for a moment I was totally going to be like, yeah, this is going to totally work. It didn't. Yeah, no, that was that's how that character ended pretty much. But no, that was a lot of fun. That was actually a great character to play, now that I think about it. Yeah.
So that's so hard because there's so many good ones. But I can still really remember fondly, like the first game I played that really got me into playing role-playing games. I tried in college with no success, but I had went and sat down in a random D&D encounters. At the table, I actually met Charlotte, who's in this game, with, and I was beyond confused. A child made my character sheet for me and was trying to explain spells to me. And I was just like, 8-year-old, please don't move far away from me because I desperately need you. But I was so terrified and so delighted and just immediately kept going back for more. God bless that child.
Oh man, I'm torn. I think I'm going to go with Z. So Z was a game I played, and that was Savage Worlds. And I got to create this alien race, and I like created his personality and characteristic, but also I created like what his planet was like and what his culture was like and what were the social norms. And that was like just a really cool thing to not just create a character, but also a whole new entire race. And I like fell in love with like that whole planet and the culture, and it was a lot of fun to explore as I played.
What is your wish for the world?
My wish for the world? Oh man, that's a very big question. I think. Wow, give me a second. This is a big one. I would certainly want a sort of universal. That's not the way I want to say it. It's sort of like a universal. I don't want to say universal income, but sort of in the sense that, basic needs are met for everybody. Healthcare, medicine, food. The basic stuff. Sort of the decrease in the wage gap, so there's a more equality throughout. That's in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, that's probably my more immediate goal, which is actually, in the horizon, is totally doable. So it's a question of whether it'll happen or not.
I guess to talk to each other, communicate, share words with each other. I think if people talked to each other more, then we could really come together more.
For the mage world or our real world?
Either both.
I mean, I would like them both to be kinder and for no one's skin to ever fillet off their arms.
Oh, I wish that we lived in a more collectivist society. I wish that we stopped trying to do everything by ourselves, alone, and that we can recognize that we need to work together to solve problems, support each other. Everyone has needs and everyone has something to give and contribute. You can't play an RPG by yourself and you can't live life by yourself.
It's a good one. I think I might end on that one. And cut.
Yay.